The FDA is giving the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis the green light to start a new clinical trial for spinal cord injuries. Here to explain how it may bring those paralyzed one step closer to walking is President and co-founder of the Buonacani Fund, Mark Buonacani. Joining him is Marketing and Events Director Stephanie Saifi-Agard. Thanks very much, both of you, for joining us. This is probably the most significant event that is taking place at the Miami Project since its inception, right?
It's bigger than the Miami Project Bureau. It's probably the biggest breakthrough in the history of spinal cord injury research, period. Over the past 3 years, we've been working with the FDA, and it's no easy task. The red tape in Washington and trying to get this passed. But once we were able to get it done, it signifies the only cell transplant for spinal cord injury in the entire United States. And we're leading the way. It's been a lot of years of hard work, but finally we've been given permission to do 8 people.
Now, when you say do 8 people, what is the process that goes on right now to make sure that they begin to walk again?
So what happens is the protocol is once someone has a spinal cord injury, within 3 to 5 days after their injury, we will harvest what's called a Schwann cell. A Schwann cell is not a stem cell. You've heard of stem cells and other types of cells in the body, but this cell resides in the peripheral nervous system, which is your arms and legs. We can retrieve that cell, a graft. We can multiply those cells into tens of millions of cells within a matter of weeks. And between day 26 and day 40, we will inject those cells back into the area of the spinal cord injury in those individuals. So really what's unique about this, and it's different than any other, is that they receive their own cells. We take their own cells, we multiply their own cells, we transplant their own cells into the spinal cord, and that acts as a bridge. Remember, an injury is like a telephone wire that's been cut. Your brain sends messages to your body, but there's no way to get through. This acts as a bridge, as a conduit to send those messages through. We've had tremendous success in animals, and now it's time to take that great leap of faith into humans.
And this one procedure could have a phenomenal effect with anybody who's paralyzed?
That's what we always say. Paralysis does not discriminate. It can happen to anybody, anytime. It's not just about sports, car accidents. You know, there's people walking down the street, kids riding their bike and fall the wrong way. So what we're doing right now is going to change medical history. So we are here at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine, the Miami Project, really changing the way we're doing medicine. And as you mentioned, we were talking a little bit about before, we've also done some other things with hypothermia, where you can cool and lower the body's temperature so it reduces the swelling. So somebody who's been injured right away, this could make a difference.
So if someone has a spinal cord injury, there are steps to be taken right after that injury takes place, and that now people know about. That really lessens the effect of any paralysis.
Right, so what happens is when you have an injury, you have a primary injury, it's the secondary injury, the minutes, the hours after the injury, causes the inflammation, causes all the damage. And if you can get to someone right away, immediately, first responders, and cool the body, even just a few degrees, makes a dramatic impact. We're working with Miami-Dade County and other counties throughout the state of Florida. Florida is leading the way in this with our human clinical trial. Between the hypothermia as well as this, and also the Department of Defense, because remember, our soldiers abroad in these conflicts are getting blast injuries, head injuries, and that's where the hypothermia comes into place.
Amazing work you guys are doing down there. Our thanks to Mark Buonacani and Stephanie Saifi-Agard for telling us about new clinical trials for spinal cord injuries. I'm Spiro Cannon. Thanks for joining us.